My passage is Act 4, Scene 1, lines 24 to 45 on pages 179 to 181. Shakespeare makes many stylistic choices in this passage to develop the theme of how power and ambition push people to commit terrible acts, even against their own family. Many of the motifs used throughout the play, such as spying or appearance versus reality, connect the characters to this theme. Shakespeare uses the motif of spying in this passage when Polonius is dead due to spying on Hamlet. Polonius was committing the sin of treachery towards Hamlet, which led to his punishment of death. This connects to the ending of the play when only the characters who were loyal and did not participate in lying or manipulation throughout the play survived. The overall theme is supported because Hamlet's ambition to get revenge on the king led him to violently act out. Another idea that Shakespeare uses in this passage is the topic of appearance versus reality. Death is shown to be a hindrance in politics because a large number of deaths surrounding a person may reveal the reality of a person to the public rather than just the appearance they want everyone to see. Claudius supports this idea through his actions when he tells his wife, "This vile deed we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse." Scene 4, Act 1, page 179, lines 29 to 32. Claudius's actions connect to a passage earlier in the play when Claudius gives a speech where he is very two-faced and deceiving in his appearance to the public. He speaks in paradoxes when he says, "with mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage." Scene 1, Act 2, page 19, line 12. Claudius's speech confuses the audience to draw their attention away from the facts of how quickly he moved on after the death of his brother. Claudius's corruption led to the deaths of many innocent people in the play, such as Polonius, Ophelia, and Laertes. Claudius's use of friends in this passage paints his image as opposite to Hamlet. While Hamlet respects his true friends that are loyal to him, Claudius uses them as tools. Claudius uses Hamlet's friends to manipulate him, like when he sent Rosencrantz and Guildenstern after Hamlet, when he said, "Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel." Scene 4, Act 1, page 179, lines 36 through 37. Claudius uses Hamlet's friends as a way to get to Hamlet and manipulate him into giving him what he wants. Claudius uses his own friends as support for his regime. When he needs help protecting his image after the murder of Polonius, he tells his wife, "Come, Gertrude, we'll set up our wisest friends, and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done." Scene 4, Act 1, page 181, lines 38 through 40. Claudius's friends are only his friends when they can do something for him, and he does not choose anyone for their loyalty. Shakespeare includes metaphors in this passage to support its overall theme. After Hamlet kills Polonius, Claudius is afraid of slander, whose whisper over the world's diameter, as level as the cannon to his blank, transports the poisoned shot may miss our name. Scene 4, Act 1, page 181, lines 41 through 43. The king's desire to maintain power makes him more conscious about protecting his image than his family. By calling the shot from the cannon poisoned, he is comparing any negative rumors or facts about the new royal leadership in Denmark to the same thing that killed the last king. Claudius is saying they would not survive the impact such a scandal would have on their image. A simile used by Shakespeare in the beginning of the passage helps give the queen, Gertrude, some innocence in the whole affair. She still feels for her son and does not want to destroy him in any way possible, like her husband Claudius does. Gertrude tells Claudius that Hamlet's morality shows through his apparent madness, like some aura among a mineral of metal's base. Scene 4, Act 1, page 179, lines 25 through 26, when he displays sadness and gets regret about his actions to his mother. Gertrude is not as ambitious and drawn to her power as Claudius, so, unlike him, She cares for her family, rather than herself and her interests. This passage is important because it furthers the idea that Claudius is acting only out of self-interest. He's manipulative and two-faced, contrasting with the protagonist Hamlet. This passage also ties the characters to the theme of power and ambition, making people act immorally. Also, other passages in the play are connected to this one because they also emphasize the way that this theme influences the characters. Shakespeare's use of motifs support the overall theme he is trying to convey to the audience. He uses spying to show how both Hamlet and Polonius were acting in immoral or unjust ways, which led to their ultimate demise. Shakespeare uses the topic of appearance versus reality to present the image of how Claudius is two-faced and untrustworthy. Claudius has an image of himself that he presents to the public and others in the royal court to seem like a king that is strong and can be trusted like the late King Hamlet, when in reality there are ulterior motives and desires that only a certain few people, like Hamlet, are able to see through to. The topic of friends shows another aspect of how Claudius is a foil to Hamlet, because he views friendships as a very one-sided relationship where only he benefits, while Hamlet places trust in his friends and confides in them as equals. The metaphors used by Shakespeare displays how afraid Claudius is about potentially losing his power if the public is able to see who he truly is and spread the information around to the world. To combat his fear, Claudius turns against Hamlet, even though he is his own family, because he is so corrupted and power-hungry. Shakespeare uses a simile to paint Gertrude in a more favorable position to the audience when she is able to defend Hamlet and see the good in him through his madness. This theme is one of many that Shakespeare references and develops throughout the play. The overall idea that he is trying to convey, though, stays constant throughout everything. Shakespeare wants people to see the danger of a reckless pursuit of one's own desires at the expense of others, and to warn them against acting in the same terrible way as the antagonists of the play.